what you want to do is you want to get some bottom round steak, or any kind of a steak. You know, it depends on what kind you like. If you like some with a little bit of fat on it. You can also do a roast, but you would have to put that in the crock pot. But as for here, it doesn't matter what kind of skillet you use. I use my cast iron skillet here. Why, I don't know. But what you do is you cut up the meat, dice it up. You rinse it first, dice it up, put it into your skillet, and you fry it until it is brown. I will be back. And then another thing you need to do is you need to add green chilies and jalapenos. They have to be roasted. You can use a can if you're in another state that doesn't have ready green chilies available. You can use a can, but I would say about 3 pounds of green chili and about 6 to 8 jalapenos, depending on how hot you want it. Then you're gonna also dice 1 whole onion, white onion preferred, and about 4 tomatoes, depending on, but you have to use tomatoes. And see, these are all separate because they're all gonna be fried separately. Okay, you wanna have those ingredients. And also you can use garlic salt just for your meat, but that when you make the green chili, you wanna use granulated garlic, like here. You know, this is the kind we use, El Guapo, ajo, it means garlic. You can use that and just regular salt, okay? Also, you do need to add oil. Like I said, we're frying it in a skillet. So you will need to preheat a little bit of oil, okay? And the reason for that is because you're gonna thicken it up like you would make a gravy. So you would thicken that up. Let me go ahead and turn this fan off, it's really loud. But you would thicken that up after you're done frying it. I'll show you. So the ingredients needed: garlic, salt, steak, you know, any kind of steak will do, flat steak, you know, chuck steak, any kind of steak you want to use, you know. And then you're going to need 1 onion, white, no red onion. If that's all you have, that's fine. We'll use white or yellow onion, tomatoes, sliced, any kind of tomatoes will do, and your green chilies and jalapenos. If you can get them in a can in your state, that's fine. You just dice them up. And I would say that looks like about, I didn't measure it. Like I said, that looks about 2.5 pounds, 3 pounds. I say that's a little bit more. But 1 onion, medium onion, and right there, those are Roman tomatoes. They're pretty big. I sliced about 4 or 5 of them. You know, you can use 2. 2 is fine. You can use 3. No, you have to use at least 2 in this. So these are the ingredients you need: garlic, salt, oil, and we're frying it. Okay. So what you want to do is just want to see how all of that. This is really bad. I'm doing it on my phone, but see how it all of that is going to turn into the green chili gravy. All of that oil there is going to turn into your gravy. Okay, so there's a reason why there's quite a bit of oil. You know, a lot of this is coming off of the meat, but add about 1/4 of a cup of oil. Okay, in your pan, depending on how big your pan is. Okay, so we're just frying this up, and I have it, because I cook all the time, I have it like on 8. You don't want to do too high, you don't want to do too low. So I would say medium high you would do, okay? Medium high. I'm gonna go a little bit higher because I'm experienced in doing this. But for people first doing it, unless you're an experienced cook, it's just like frying steak, just with quite a bit of oil. And the reason for that, I'll show you. So you see how it's starting to turn brown there. It's just browning it. You know, you want it cooked. You don't want it burned. You know, you just want to, if you like a lot of fat, you can leave the fat on there. I just leave a tiny bit, tiniest bit of fat on there. I mean, tiny. The less fat, the better for me. But, you know, that's your preference, you know. So see how it's kind of like making that gravy? That's what you want. You want that gravy. Just like you'd be making like a Swedish meatballs or something like that. You want that gravy. That's what you're looking for. Okay? You can make a green chili with the roast, which I'll do another time, but I'm making it this way with the... Okay? Let that fry up a little bit. Okay, see that? See all of this broth here? See how it's cooking? This is what you want. Okay? This is what you need. Okay? I say you let it cook on medium high for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay? Depending on how rare you like your meat, you know. But you know, it cooks pretty fast when you have it in a broth like this once you get it pretty high. Okay. Since this pan isn't large enough, we're gonna do a transfer. Okay. We're gonna do a transfer into this pot here. Okay. So in a minute, we're gonna do the transfer. So I got this pan heated up. You don't wanna put it in there cold and you don't want it too hot. The transfer is gonna have to be done pretty fast. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer this into here. Okay, let's stick this in the water. Okay, now I'm just gonna move this one over to here, turn this one off. Okay, so you see now it's still hot. Okay, let me turn on another light here. There we go. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add my chilies. So I have my chilies here. We're gonna add all of that in there just like that. Okay, we're gonna add all the chilies in there. Okay? Then we're gonna give it a stir. This is what's going to start giving you that green chili color. Okay? So this has gotta cook up together, okay? I'm gonna put this on high so we can speed this up a little bit. Okay? So it's now we're gonna have, it's just like making a stew, you know, in a sense. Green chili verde or green chili. And so we're gonna go ahead and let this cook down, okay? So that's in there. It's been in there for about 3 minutes. So now, remember we set these aside, onions and tomatoes. We are going to add the onions, okay? Not the tomatoes, only the onions. Okay, now see the onions are added? Added in there. Now you want to put your onions in there. Now it's started, yeah. You don't want these onions crunchy. You want them to cook down, just like you want the chilies to cook down. These chilies cannot go in raw. You cannot make this with raw chilies. It doesn't work like that. If you don't have a way to roast your own chilies, you can roast them in the oven, you can roast them on top of the stove. If you don't have, I'll show you another video of how to roast chilies, but you can use canned, okay? Canned jalapeno and canned green chilies, okay? But you cannot put them in there fresh. It doesn't work like that, all right? See, now my stove is on high. We're gonna let these cook down, okay? And then we'll add our tomatoes. We're gonna let these cook down for about 7 minutes. Here it goes. It's starting to simmer. You're gonna see this juice that was brown from the steak is gonna start turning green from the chilies, okay? Once this broth turns like a green color, now, I mean, not all the way super green, but it's gonna be like a greenish color, okay? Once it starts turning to a greenish color, like it's doing now, you just wanna keep stirring it. You've gotta keep stirring it so it doesn't burn, okay? We're gonna do this up for about 7 minutes, okay? You're gonna start smelling it, but you want that broth to start turning green, okay? A greenish color, that's how you get it from the chilies. The chilies will make a broth just like a, there we go, okay? Ooh, see, it's still cooking down. If I can, my camera I'm doing it with my phone camera. This is my first time doing video on cooking, so everybody forgive me, please. But I promise you the results will come out good, okay? There it goes, it's turning a greenish color. Also, if you're gonna have to thicken this up, you're gonna need cornstarch or flour, either or, okay? Ingredients: steak, oil, tomatoes, onion, green chilies, flour or cornstarch, garlic, and salt. Whoops, there it goes. Go ahead, it's turning greener now. See, the longer you have it simmering, and I have it on high. I wouldn't suggest people that are first learning how to cook to do this on high. Okay, medium high, don't forget. And the reason we don't add the tomatoes in, because the tomatoes seem to have all the juices from the tomatoes, and the juices from the tomatoes will not allow you to get this green texture, okay? Okay, it's been about 8 to 10 minutes now. Go ahead and add your tomatoes in, okay? There goes your tomatoes, okay? Now you're gonna get these tomatoes in, stir them in, and do the same process as you did before. You want those tomatoes to get soft, okay? Once these tomatoes are soft, we're gonna add our water, our cornstarch, and then our water, okay? And cornstarch is a lot easier to make than flour. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your cornstarch here, and you're gonna put it in hot water, and you're gonna mix it around to make a gravy. I'll show you. Go ahead and put a cup of water inside of the microwave for about a minute, okay? And then you're gonna add, let's just get the water warmed up, okay? Okay, this is what it should look like, maybe not so high. Got your tomatoes, they're getting softer. And I got some water inside of the microwave. Now you have some warm water here, okay, in the microwave. What you're gonna do is you're going to get a few tablespoons of cornstarch at a time, okay? And you just mix it with the water. Okay, I made a little mess here, but you add a couple tablespoons of cornstarch to some warm water, okay? I'm gonna show you how to do flour too because I ran out of cornstarch. Just mix that around. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna add this in there, okay? Add the cornstarch in, just like making gravy, okay? Let's go ahead and see how thick that's making it. That just might be enough cornstarch, we'll see. Okay? You're gonna add about half a cup of water, okay? Maybe a little less, all right? Okay, I just put a half a cup of water in there. Forgive me, my dogs, okay? Now see how thick that is? It's just, and that's all you need. And you just cook it down, and there you have it. If you want to use flour instead, I'll show you the flour method. Hold on. The flour method to make it thicker. Warm up that pan. Okay, there's a little bit of water in there, so don't add it Don't add the oil when there's water in there. Let me wipe some of that water out with a napkin. Okay. A little bit of oil in there. And gold medal flour. There's a little more than a teaspoon there. I'm gonna go ahead and add that. It depends on how thick you want it. There we go. Okay, we're gonna add that in there. Stir it around, and the reason why you do that is so you don't get any clumps. Nobody wants clumps, and you don't want to burn it. Okay, you don't want to burn this. It's gonna cook down into like a little gravy there. You don't want to burn it, okay? You want it to get just a tiny, like light brown, you know. Cook it down so it doesn't have any lumps. Just pour some of that in there, okay? I'm gonna add a little water in there. Put a little water. Get some of that out of there. There we go. So about a cup to a half a cup of water, okay? In your chili, see? Now this is gonna thicken that up. If you find it too thick, add a little bit of water, okay? Now we want to add some garlic salt and salt. Well, you can put garlic salt in there. I prefer you use regular garlic and salt. Okay, we're just gonna put some garlic salt in there because I'm making it fast, okay? So you do want to distribute your garlic and your salt evenly, but because I'm cooking this for the video, you can see that. I wish I had a better camera. It is green. It is actually green. And that's how you make green chili. Have a blessed day. God bless everyone. And thank you for watching this video.